Hey everyone, welcome to Kempner Sports. My name is Rev Trev, and I am excited because tonight we have, or today, whenever you're watching this, maybe you're watching at 3 a.m., we have Hockey Talk on the Rock. My special guest, I'm pumped to have you, Keith Lara. Welcome to Kempner Sports. Welcome to the channel. So good to have you guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Sorry. Yeah, thank you for having us. Yeah.
So we're here to talk about Canucks. Now, you guys talk about the whole league. And Laura, if I'm right, you're the massive Canucks fan, right? And so whenever I watch, you're usually wearing a Bo Horvat or some kind of cool Canucks jersey on. Keith, you never know what he's going to be wearing. It can be any of his 4,000 jerseys he has, but he's a Flyers fan who appreciates Vancouver. So let's just get into this. Let's recap some of these games. But before we do that, I just want to give a special shout out to these guys. Make sure you hit their subscribe to their channel because, listen, these two know their sports, especially hockey. They have in-depth stuff that I don't even know. Like, they're talking about people I've never even heard of, strategies, coaches. Listen, they know their stuff. So I want to give a shout out to you guys. Well worth the time, and leave a comment because I leave comments there, and some people gotta like correct me if I'm wrong or whatever. So, anyways, let's dive in. Apparently, Buffalo Sabres are winning the Stanley Cup, so they're 3-0. And what happened today? Like, any insights? I mean, you were saying you watched the first period, right? So.
Yeah, so I watched the first period. My insights are probably not going to be that good because I did leave after the first where it seemed like things were kind of going okay. But, I mean, I did kind of notice the Canucks were playing, I would say, looser defensively. Obviously, not having Quinn Hughes tonight, I think, did play a role in their defensive, like the tandems, obviously. And then they put in both Schenn and Hunt for their first games of the season. So I don't know if maybe that was part of it. The only positive I can say from the first is I thought that Podkolzin was playing pretty well. If you want a positive, but again, I did leave. So my insight's going to be very isolated to that first period.
And Keith, what did you see? Did you watch any of the game tonight?
I did. I watched the whole thing through and through, first second to the last. I don't know why I stuck it out, but I did. And yeah, the first period was pretty energetic for the Canucks. It looked pretty good. There was, like Laura alluded to, with the new defensive pairings this game, there was some coverage issues you could see that ultimately caught up with them. My takeaways from this game were they're kind of comboed with the Detroit game a little bit because I was saying to Laura earlier that it feels like for years now, the Canucks have kind of played down to the teams that are seen to be weaker. And I felt like these two games were just like, here we go again. They're two teams that they probably should beat pretty easily, and they played down to them, it seemed like, and they lost. And the thing that was kind of bugging me the most both games was they knew they had to rework the power play after last year, and it really looks like a lot of the same.
Yeah.
I have that in big letters down here, just so you know. Like, that's true. Is it me, or does Olofsson and Dahlin, are they just monsters or what? They look like giants amongst like little men. I don't know. What is going on? They look like what have they been eating when they were kids? Like, I didn't realize they were that huge.
Yeah, I think Tage Thompson's pretty big too.
I was just going to say that. That was the third guy that I've noticed. It's like, wow, Tage Thompson's a big guy.
Yeah.
I mean, they're 3-0, right? Like, I agree with you. I'm super disappointed we lost that game, but they're 3-0. Yeah. So there was two other teams that thought, oh, Buffalo's on schedule, we're winning this game. Is Buffalo really this good? Like, this is what I'm asking. Like, I know we're 1 week in, but come on.
Yeah, I feel like it's got to catch up to them, right? Their roster, when you look at they're not great, but there's probably a kind of a bit of that Vegas attitude going on with them right now. With it was a disastrous offseason. It was a disastrous year last year for them. And those guys that are there are all probably saying, okay, we know no one wants to be here and no one wants to be on this team and everyone thinks we suck. So we're going to go out and we're going to play our hardest kind of thing. So it'll be interesting to see how long they can carry that on for, but I really don't think they're great. I think they're probably playing better than what they will kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, they did play Montreal their first game, and we can totally talk about how awful they are, being 0-4 now this season.
Right.
But I do want to give a bit of props to Craig Anderson. You know, as a 40-year-old netminder, I thought he played really, really well tonight.
Yeah.
That's something else I want to talk about with the Canucks, though, specifically, because it goes back to the Detroit game a little bit. The Canucks, like Keith said, yeah, they play down to their opponents, but they also have a knack of making these goalies that are kind of like, I'll say, B-level goalies in the league look like Vezina winners. And they did that on Saturday with Detroit, like 100%, right? It was like, this is Thomas Greiss, right? And again, he played out of his mind. He played very well, but the Canucks probably should have found a way to beat him.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I just in watching the game, and maybe Keith, you can jump in there. It's like they just flipped a switch, Buffalo, and all of a sudden they were just working hard. They were definitely the hardest working team in that third period. That Skinner goal was awesome. I was like, how the heck did he do that? You know, the wheels started falling off there for Vancouver, and then the fifth one is an empty netter, so who cares? But so it was 4-2, and it was commanding 4-2. So I was just impressed with Buffalo. I am disappointed with Vancouver. What did you think about that third period, Keith?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like it was a lot of different types of players with a lot to prove coming together. Like you alluded to Skinner there. I feel like, you know, he's pretty well written off. He's one of those guys who's got a lot to prove. Okposo has been written off for years, and he had 2 goals tonight and looked pretty good. And then the same with a lot of the young kids, like we talked about Tage Thompson. He's kind of been written off as like, oh, that's really all they got for the O'Reilly deal or whatever. But, you know, that's going to follow him, and that might be motivating him to play well early on too.
Mm-hmm. I didn't even know Okposo was still in the league. Like that, when I saw him out there, I literally thought he's still in the NHL. Yeah. That blows me away. He's been in for a long time. And it just shows when you go to Buffalo, like everyone forgets about you. Okay, well, let's transition real quick to Philly and Detroit. Now, I want to get to some huge news, but let's just quickly talk about them. Okay, so Philly, as people who know me well, they know that that's my second favorite team is Philadelphia. People say, why do you have a second favorite team when you're a Canucks fan? I'm like, because we keep losing. We need to cheer for somebody else in the playoffs. We haven't been good for a long time. I love Eric Lindros, Legion of Doom. That was just great years to be a fan. I would go to the games, Philly versus Vancouver on Christmas Eve every year, cheer for Vancouver, watch the Legion of Doom beat us 8-0. Simone Gagne scored with 2 seconds left in a game to beat us the next year. It's been hard, but I'm a Canucks fan through and through. I really appreciate Philadelphia, and I love Claude Giroux. I think he's incredible. So yeah, I've liked how Philly's kind of made their team, but in that game, it was nuts. It was nuts. There was so much energy in the building. It was their home opener, and that was a fun game to watch. Now, so I just would love to hear your guys' takes on the Flyers game, and then we'll talk about the Detroit game after that.
Sure. So yeah, I feel like in regards to the Flyers game, like the Canucks, I still think haven't put together a full 60-minute effort this season, right? And the Flyers game was a really good example of that. I think in a way they got lucky because they got those 2 really awful goals on Carter Hart. But then in the third there, they let the Flyers come back into it, tie it up. and then in the end they win it in overtime. So it's okay in the end, or in the shootout, sorry. But it's just like they haven't pieced it all together yet, and it is early in the season, so the Canucks have never really started that great, I feel like, in recent years. But hopefully in the next couple games we see that happen. I think the Flyers, obviously, the interesting thing with them is this offseason they completely redid essentially their blue line to help out Hart, right? Because last year was awful. But I still think that the players that they chose to bring in were all kind of mainly like offensive guys, and like that kind of puzzled me at the time. And I'm wondering if maybe it's just an adjustment for them too, with bringing in those like 3 new guys specifically into the team. But I'm hoping for Keith and for Flyers fans that Hart does bounce back, because he had such a good rookie season and last year was so bad, and then that game against Vancouver was just terrible. So you know.
Yeah, what do you think, Keith? Because this is your team, man, so this is your moment to shine.
I know. I've got notes. I've totally got notes because I never get to talk about Philly that often. So, yeah, I mean, like Laura alluded to, they did a lot of work in the offseason, and you know, I'll agree and disagree. Like, I think Ryan Ellis doesn't get appreciated for his defensive play as much as his offensive play. I think he's really good at both ends of the ice, and that was obviously the big pickup. And he played really well in that game, getting a couple points. You know, I thought it was evenly matched. It was kind of a classic Flyers game where they try to outscore their problems because they've had such goaltending issues and defensive issues for so long, that it wasn't surprising to me that it was a 5-4 final. But, you know, even if it was evenly matched, without those 2 awful, awful goals that Hart let in, the Canucks could easily be sitting 0-3-1 right now, right? Start their season.
Yeah.
So it was a classic Philly game. You know, they only hit Vancouver by 15 hits. Even with those 2 bad goals, Hart still had a 900 save percentage on the game. Quickly throw some love to Podkolzin. That snipe was awesome. Totally. Definitely an exciting thing to see a guy that's supposed to be like a playmaker in the league at like, what a great shot. And yeah, no, it was fun. It was fun to watch all of it. And I'm glad Vancouver let him back in for a point there.
Yeah, so it looked like we had the game because of those weaker goals. That Podkolzin snipe, you're right. It was a laser. And I was sitting there going, why are we playing this guy for 7 minutes? And then when it was close, it was 4-2. He just sat Podkolzin the entire time. And it's like, I just think like I get it. He's a rookie. I just believe in this kid. You've heard me talk on your channel about the Podkolzin hype. So I was disappointed, but those 2 goals that Philly had to tie it up. First one was okay, like that's solid. That Giroux goal was next level amazing. Like he didn't even hold it on his stick. He shot it up off the back. He called for it off the back of the boards, got it, and shot it up right away. I was just sitting there going, you can't teach that, and you can't stop that. But the other one, you could have stopped. Yeah. So it was disappointing. We should have won that game, quote unquote, easier. But that's the point of Philly, is that they have this scoring potential that you just never can let up with Philly, because, you know, Couturier, there's all who's the right winger that starts with the K? Konechny. He's super good.
Yeah. Yeah, so, a year last year, but bouncing back already.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was just watching that game, and I'm like, it was exciting. It was also, again, disappointing. But the shootout, or no, overtime, we dominated overtime. Like, it wasn't even close. I thought for sure we were scoring. And then shootout, it's like, well, Hart, I'm sorry, you're just not as good as Demko. Yeah. I feel like I'm simplifying this here, but this is the thing. I cannot stand our power play. Like, Keith, you alluded to this. We do the exact same thing every single time. Yeah. And I'm so done. Like, basically, we pass it around until Pettersson gets a shot. Everyone knows it's coming. So what we do is, why do we put Miller on the left-hand side? Because it's not he's left-handed shot. And then he turns his whole body and gets over there. I'm like, someone put Besser. I know he's been hurt. Okay, so now tonight we could add Besser on that other side and then make it the Pettersson
Besser thing.
That to me, do I need to call Travis Green? That like, how come we can see this and he can't?
I think
Yeah, it's so funny.
I think you need to make that phone call.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not on my speed dial, but I'm gonna get on it. I mean, he's probably watching this right now, but it is what it is, right? So
yeah, with Besser specifically, I never understand why they have him playing on the goal line when he has that shot. I'm like, you just have to put him up there and even have the threat of his shot to counteract with Pettersson, right? And then it's boom. And like, yeah, Miller is fine, but Besser just he's got a weapon and you're not using it. And yeah, he was injured, so they had Chase on there, and I understand that, but I'm hoping that as the season goes, that will improve now that Besser is back specifically.
But I don't understand the chase. Like you're like, I understand that. I don't understand the chase on that. Like his goal, they're like, oh, this is why they have him on the power play. And then you see the replay and it goes off his leg that's on the ground and it goes in and it's like, he didn't even use a stick. So why is it because of his size? Is that what he's trying to get in front of the net? Like,
yeah,
I think so.
They kind of lack that type of player who goes to the greasy areas and gets the greasy goals. Like I said, they say Bo does it, but he doesn't really do it, you know?
okay.
I hate that I'm about to give props to the Oilers here, but like I've been watching a few other teams' power plays, just kind of taking note, and like the other teams are really, really good at having their elite players skate around and make the defensive players move out of position and rotate coverage. And that's one of the things you just don't see in Vancouver, and that's making it really frustrating.
Mm-hmm. On a positive note, OEL looks really good.
Yeah.
Really good. I was shocked because I didn't know. I was really skeptical, and many of you have watched that video on that one, so I won't rehash the nervousness of that, but I am very pleasantly surprised. His goal tonight was good. I think he scored tonight. Did he not? Let me just see. Anyways, and then no, he didn't score tonight. So the goal he scored against Edmonton, was a total fluke. It hit the stick, went in. It is what it is, right? So, but he's played really good, and I'm very thankful. And then everyone told us that we were going to love Garland, and we do. The guy that's every team needs a Garland. He is
I'm so happy with Garland right now. I was saying to Keith on Saturday when I was watching that Detroit game, that was the angriest I've gotten, I think, watching a Canucks game in so long. And it was all because of Garland, but it was like a happy angry, right? Like he was pulling the team. He really was. And it was so great to see, you know, kind of flashbacks in my mind to a combo of Burrows and Kessler, right? Just getting under people's skin, but being able to score. And I'm very excited by him. And I agree with you. I think OEL for me has been much better than what I was anticipating, because I was kind of bracing for the worst, I'll say. So those Arizona guys look reborn, basically. And
and meanwhile, in Arizona, they have Beagle on the top line. I was like, I think they're going for the first pick, everyone.
Yeah. Don't tell anyone.
Okay, so that Detroit game, apparently on a back-to-back, we are 1-8-2 or something like that. So it seemed like that's what the Detroit game was. It was like, we played yesterday. We don't play 2 games in a row ever. We don't like to play. We want to, like, I just want, like, I don't know, you were saying you're angry. I was angry. I was like, I'm trying to watch this. Like, watching it's hard. Imagine being on the ice.
Yeah,
that was terrible.
I thought the Canucks actually were the better team in that Detroit game. I thought they should have found a way to win it, and then they kind of got goalied, or whatever you want to call it. But again, the Canucks have this knack of getting goalied by every goalie, it seems, at times, and I feel like they should have found a way to squeeze that one out, and they let it get away, kind of like the Philly game, but except they didn't get any points out of it. So.
Any thoughts, Keith, on that one? Did you see that at all?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, we were doing my makeup Thanksgiving dinner that night, so I caught like little bits of the game, and all I can say was, you know, I saw the hit on Zadina from Garland, and I was like, yeah, more of that, and got a penalty for some reason, but
Because he's small.
Yeah,
Small guys are not allowed to hit, apparently. I don't know.
there was some entertainment to it, so I got some enjoyment, but I can't really weigh in on the goals or anything too much because I really wasn't watching that one.
Right. Okay, so Pud Colson, let's go back to him real quick. You know how huge I am on him, but he was getting 7 minutes for those 2 games. Last game he got 9, and tonight he got 12.
Yeah.
So I'm like, there's progression. So I'm getting excited about that. I was wondering what they were going to do with Brock coming back, if they were going to, who they were going to sit. I'm glad they didn't sit Pud Colson. Okay, so huge news. Keith, you have tickets to a Canucks game, right? Is it coming up soon?
Not soon, no. Actually,
Okay.
Laura bought them for us for our wedding gift, and it is in March, and it's the Washington Capitals. So it's not
Okay. Okay, I thought it was a Philly game. So I thought you were going next week. So this morning, I don't know what I'm on, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and there's this advertisement that says there's still tickets available for opening night. And I never click on that. I click on it, and there's tickets. There's not just tickets. There's tickets for the lower bowl for $100.
Oh, wow.
That's fees included.
Wow.
And I'm like, you're kidding. So I start texting my friend, and I'm like, listen, I haven't even talked to my wife yet, but I'm super tempted to pull the trigger on this. Are you interested? And he was like, yep. And you can stay here. Let's do it. So I went and talked to my wife, and she's like, go for it. And now we are on row 13 opening night.
Nice.
Let's go. In
That's
1
awesome.
week. I am so stoked. Like, I'm never the guy who's like the spontaneous buy something, and it's against the Wild, and I'm a huge Kaprizov fan.
Nice,
I said
yeah.
Kaprizov fan, and so I'm stoked to go see him. I pulled his rookie card. I have him on my hockey pool team. I've got Brock Hoaglander as well. I just dropped Pud Colson. I need to pick him back up. But anyways, so that's my big news. Like, I'm going.
That's
lower
awesome.
bowl, row 13.
Season opener.
Season
Let's
opener.
go.
Have you ever been to a season opener?
No.
No, like I was bragging about going to the Nanaimo Clippers season opener. I can only imagine how happy you are. Like, that should be awesome. I'll try not to wear my Minnesota Wild jersey while watching that game.
You can.
You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
I've got a few Wild. I've got Kaprizov in my pool too, so that's exciting. But that should be a good game. I watched the Wild and the Jets tonight, and they are a good team.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I really like the Wild. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm
Yeah.
very high on that team, and Kaprizov is up there for me with favorite players in the league. So
Yeah, so that's my massive news. And now this is a small news, okay? So I don't know, but like, you guys can see behind me, I've got a bunch of McFarlands here. These are all my NFL ones. I have my NHL ones for here. I have like Team Canada Luongo. I've got a variant Sidney Crosby. I've got a Forsberg one. I've got Naslin. I've got a Team Canada Crosby. Okay, yeah, boring people now. I got a Giroux Winter Classic.
nice.
And an Ovechkin. Okay, so I love those things. And today I'm on Facebook Marketplace, and someone is selling 2 McFarlands for $7 total. I picked up this Wayne Gretzky. See you later. I'm leaving the NHL.
Nice.
Okay, and
That's awesome.
Oh,
the
that's
greatest Canucks goaltender in the history of our franchise. Let's go. $7? Are you kidding me? They're not even out of the box.
That's
I would have paid
awesome.
$7 just for this out of the box.
Your
So
other
I don't know if you guys like that kind of stuff, but there's just like, I don't know how my day could be better.
I think you need to go and buy a lottery ticket or something.
Yeah, we had pulled pork and poutine tonight for dinner. Like, life was good. Anyways, I just thought I wanted to share, not the, McFarland's or whatever, but I just wanted to share that ticket news with you guys. I know that you would appreciate that. I thought for sure, like, I was so tempted to stay an extra day and go to the Philly game. And then I looked at it, and then Edmonton's in Vancouver. I'm like, I should just stay in Vancouver all week. But I can't afford that. My bank account wouldn't allow me. Neither would my family. So
Yeah.
So yeah, any other thoughts on the Canucks where we want to sign off tonight?
I hope they put it together, start getting some wins, because I am starting to get worried. But we'll see how it goes here.
Yeah, all I got is I can only hope that this road trip comes to an end sooner than later, because it'll be nice to have them back at home, and it'll be nice to know that you'll be there bringing your good luck to them.
Yeah, and then we play Chicago next. If we do not beat Chicago, like, come on now, that's gonna be the worst ever. Like, nobody's worse than Chicago. They're 0-3-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Fleury's going to be a Vezina Trophy winner. Then we got the Kraken on the 23rd, the Saturday night.
Yeah, that should be good.
Oh my goodness, we got to get these next 2 wins. So
yeah,
and then Minnesota, that's going to be tough. So, all right, well, Hockey Talk on the Rock live, Kempner Sports. So glad to have you guys. Really appreciate your time, and thanks so much for being here. Obviously, hit the like, comment, subscribe, and also go to their channel and do the same thing. Have a great day, everyone, and go Canucks, go!
Woo!